Next on our agenda, we have House File 2317, Representative Kraft. Would you like to go ahead and move your bill?
Yep, move House File 2317 to be laid over.
And I think there's an author's amendment.
There is. I'd like to move the A3 amendment, which puts an appropriation amount in and updates some dates.
I believe it's the A4.
The A4. Is it A4?
Yes, A4.
Ah.
Yeah.
Sorry, there was an A3 in here too. Yeah. So thank you very much. I'll move the A4 amendment. Please disregard the A3.
Great. The A4. Any discussion to the A4? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. The motion prevails and the amendment is adopted. Representative Kraft, please go ahead and tell us about your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members. House File 2317 is really exciting. It is about leveraging an almost entirely untapped source of heat that already exists in hundreds of Minnesota communities around the state, wastewater. After wastewater is treated, it has heat in it. House File 2317 is simply about figuring out how to use this free renewable heat, free in that we're already paying for it, to provide thermal energy to buildings. Not only can it help us with one of our biggest challenges, decarbonizing the building sector, but it just makes sense to reuse heat energy that we're already creating. You may remember that we commissioned a thermal energy network deployment work group that reported to us in December 2025. That work group identified wastewater as a key local thermal resource and recommended prioritizing areas with access to renewable thermal resources like wastewater. Many wastewater treatment facilities already recover some waste heat internally for their own processes. What this bill targets is different. The thermal energy in the treated wastewater itself, which is currently being discharged into our rivers and waterways. This is energy communities have already paid to generate, and right now we're not using it. Recent studies conducted in St. Paul and Duluth in conjunction with federal grant opportunities identified enough recoverable thermal energy at wastewater treatment facilities to serve as the primary energy source for the district heating networks, serving approximately 40 million square feet of building space. This is not really technically challenging. The question for Minnesota is where and how to deploy it. House File 2317 would fund a pilot program through the MPCA to answer that question. A study directs the MPCA to identify facilities statewide where this thermal energy could feasibly be captured and put to use. And it funds engineering review and design for 2 projects, one in the 7-county metro and one outstate. So this is about figuring out how to use a widely available, untapped, renewable thermal resource to decarbonize building heating. Seems like an excellent fit for the RDA. Now I have a testifier.
Thank you, Chair Acom, members of the committee. My name is Luke Galswick, President and CEO with Evergreen Energy. We develop and operate district energy systems and thermal energy networks across the United States. I'm here today because wastewater treatment facilities across Minnesota contain a significant, largely untapped source of thermal energy that can provide communities with affordable, low-carbon, locally sourced heating. In St. Paul, we're working with the Metropolitan Council Environmental Services and the city on Clean Heat St. Paul, an effort to capture waste heat from the state's largest wastewater treatment facility and integrate it with our existing district heating network. In Duluth, we recently completed a federally funded study confirming the availability of the resource and to find how best to integrate with the city's district heating network. These are 2 of Minnesota's hundreds of wastewater treatment facilities, some of which may provide real opportunities for communities. The technology is proven, deployed at scale in Europe since the 1980s, with several smaller projects in operation across North America. The question for Minnesota is where the best opportunities are and how to move them forward. This bill helps answer that question. Wastewater heat is local, it's secure, it's low carbon, it's available year-round, and can help insulate communities from global energy price volatility. Communities that understand what energy resources they have can make better decisions about local infrastructure, economic development, and long-term energy planning. This bill complements the thermal energy network deployment framework this legislature has been building and puts actionable information in communities' hands of all shapes and sizes. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Now, do you have another testifier or just?
Yeah, we had that put in the letter in the packet. So.
Thank you. So members take a look in the packets and then looking around to see if there's any
Representative Kraft, thank you very much for bringing this forward. I lived in Iceland where we had hot water like that all the time, the endless shower, so to speak. I kind of like the way this bill is going. I was just going to throw out an idea that may work a little bit better. If we were to give a prize to somebody who came forward with a good project, one in the metro area and one in greater Minnesota, of $1 million or something towards design, that may save us just a whole bunch of engineering costs up front. Having worked for an engineering firm, if you give them $3 million, they'll spend $3 million. If you give them $350,000, they'll spend $350,000. It'd be a minor A5 amendment, but I think it might actually work better and encourage competition for the skin in the game of getting the best prize to get the overall prize to do the event. Thank you.
Representative Kraft?
Yeah, Madam Chair, Representative Sexton, thank you for your creativity. I'm excited to explore that with you. Let's follow up.
Any other questions or comments from members? Seeing none, this bill is being laid over, so there is time to continue to work on it. And with that, Representative Kraft, do you have any closing comments?
This is a great bill. Just
Yeah.
makes sense to, there's many ways bad jokes I can make, which I'm not going to do. So, but please support the bill.
Great. With that, House File 2317, as amended, is laid over.